Now it's time for Union County EDGEcast, a podcast to discuss the current economic development environment within Union County, North Carolina, the greater Charlotte area, the state of North Carolina, and beyond. During this time, Chris will discuss many topics with guests ranging from industrial leaders, important allies, and thought leaders throughout the economic development landscape. You can also find the video version of this episode on the Monroe-Union County Economic Development's YouTube channel and other social media platforms. Please know that the views, information, or opinions expressed during this podcast are solely those of the individuals involved and do not necessarily represent the policies or positions of any other agency, organization, employer, or company. Now let me introduce your host, Chris Platte, Executive Director of Monroe-Union County Economic Development.
Hey, Amy.
Hey, Chris.
How you doing?
Hey, I'm great. Great to be here.
Great. Thanks for coming. This is the Union County EDGEcast. So, again, it's our fourth one, so I appreciate you being here.
Absolutely.
Having to follow up Mr. Pope.
It's hard to follow in those footsteps. Real hard.
That's right. He sort of has an orbit of his own. You know?
He has personality.
Right. So, like with Mr. Pope, you and I have known each other for a while, so there may be a few things in here that seem a little bit more casual than most podcast would be. So.
Absolutely. I'm okay with that.
All right. Well, again, just to remind everyone, the EDGEcast is something we've put together here to kind of promote Union County in a different way. You know, talk to folks that are outside of our borders and people that interact, whether in the Charlotte region or even broader within the state or multiple states. And so we appreciate, again, you coming here and talking about some things.
Absolutely.
So first of all, your new title is you just recently changed positions. You're now president of the Associated Builders and Contractors of the Carolinas.
Yes.
So congratulations on that.
Thank you very much. There is no manual on training during a pandemic for membership organizations. So.
True. I cannot fathom because your normal meetings, everything. Any fundraising that would typically happen is not, you can't do that right now. So.
We're trying to, but it's a little slow.
Right.
Yeah.
I know you've done some webinars and some other things too. So.
We have trying to keep members engaged the best we can.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, first of all, in the podcast, we like to start out with just something personal. Mm-hmm. So first of all, where were you born?
So I was born in Dover, Delaware.
Wow.
My father was in the Air Force.
Excellent.
Yes.
Well, thanks for his service.
Absolutely. Not an Air Force brat. We basically stayed there and then moved to North Carolina.
Oh, okay. So when he got out is when you moved?
We did. I was 7.
Okay. And so where did you move to?
So we moved to Gastonia when I was 7 years old.
The gas house of North Carolina. I love it.
And I'm back.
So you were raised there. Did you go to high school at Ashbrook?
I went to Ashbrook. Went to Ashbrook.
And then where'd you go to school after that?
So I spent a year at Appalachian, and then I spent the rest of the 3 years at UNC Charlotte.
Oh, another 49er.
I know. Go Niners. We're all over the place.
I know. So 3 out of the 4 podcasts have been Niners. So you guys are like tentacles out.
We're good people. Good people.
Is that what it is?
That's it.
Okay. You're just a good school, putting out good people.
Yes.
That's right. Mm-hmm. So, well, tell me a little bit about ABC.
So the Associated Builders and Contractors, we are a national trade organization, obviously based in Washington, D.C., being national. But for the Carolinas, we have North and South Carolina, 7 councils. So that includes the Charlotte area, the Triangle, the Triad. I have to think about this. Wilmington, which we consider coastal. Then you've got upstate South Carolina, Midlands, South Carolina, and then Low Country.
Wow.
So 7 councils. I believe we have about 300 members in the Carolinas.
Oh, that's great.
It's great. So, I mean, for the time that we're in right now, of course, we have lofty goals of gaining more, but for the most part, we're happy with that.
Right.
In terms of national, so we have about 21,000 members nationwide, 69 chapters across the country. And our format is basically supporting merit shop, free enterprise, general contractors, suppliers, vendors, anyone who really puts into the development construction industry.
Okay.
Yeah.
Excellent. So I know you've had a career that has spanned, sort of, you've been with on sort of the tip of the spear with geotech and environmental folks. You've been with construction before. One of the things that you've graciously invited me to one time was the Carolina Built.
Yes.
So what is, how does that, and how has that helped you sort of work with this new role at ABC?
So Carolina Built is an organization that I helped, I guess, start in the Carolinas. We're part of a larger group called Built. And the premise is to bring like-minded people together in the design world and network. I think the Carolinas, we have about 32 members, general contractors, engineers, architects, anyone who touches the industry. So on the side note, on a sidebar, I've been a member of ABC Carolina since 2012.
Okay.
That started with another career that I had. And then, meeting the general contractors in that world, going to work for an engineering firm, sort of built upon that. And then when I was asked to help start Carolina Built as a networking organization, I was full in. So
Gotcha.
Carolina Built has helped me develop more general contractor relationships that either they're already members of ABC or that hopefully I can parlay into being members of ABC.
Okay.
Whereas Carolina Built is more focused on the networking and relationship building. ABC has a governmental affairs arm, so we lobby on behalf of the industry. We have an apprenticeship program, a safety program, and also, of course, the networking goes along with that.
Right.
So they're sort of, I think they sort of assist each other in what our goals are, but for the most part, ABC has more of a lobbying arm, education arm. Yeah.
Gotcha. Well, the Carolina Built event that we went to was in Chatola.
Yes.
So one of those that we both have a love of the outdoors. And so you just got back from Yellowstone or Teton?
Tetons, Wyoming and Montana.
Yeah.
So,
How was that trip?
Amazing. I wish I was back there.
It is. I'll be leaving here soon to go.
I know.
So it's going to be fun to take the family to see that for the first time.
Absolutely. The moose are on the loose, so
Excellent.
just be looking out for them.
So how did you get sort of that love of the outdoors? Is it? Was it always there, or did it sort of evolve?
It evolved. I mean, I've always been athletic. I've always played sports, played softball, volleyball growing up. Anything that I could do to get outside, be active. In 2014, I think it was, I decided to hike the extreme hike with cystic fibrosis, which is 30.1 miles in a day on the Appalachian Trail. So you start training for it, 3 months prior, 4 months prior to the event, and you hike all over North Carolina mountains. So I was lucky enough that where we started near Roan Mountain, and we went through Tennessee, we ended up in North Carolina back to Tennessee.
Right.
But that was 30.1 miles, and through the training process of that, it's one of those experiences where it truly changed my life.
Wow.
And hopefully I changed other people's lives by raising money for CF.
Sure.
But that's what sort of started it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so that got you to the outdoors. You're now an avid fisher woman as well.
I don't know if I say avid.
But you're very good at it.
I can get it done. Yeah.
So you just kind of started doing all things outdoors? You do the hiking. You're a good shooter as well, a shotgunner like myself too, and Chip and several of us, and then the fishing side. So how?
Yeah. So I started shooting probably in 2012.
Okay.
Just, being in business development at the time, and yes, still currently, you have a choice in our industry. You can play golf, or at least in our arena,
something.
you can learn how to shoot.
Yeah.
So I can play golf. You don't really want me to,
No.
but I can do it. So I decided.
You don't want me to play golf either.
No, it's a long day.
More landscaping than
Long
golf.
day. So I decided, you know what, I'm going to take up shooting. And I was invited to attend a sporting clay event, I don't know, again, probably back in 2012, 13, and I started shooting. And I'm like, I think I like this. And that's what started the shooting. And then I met my husband through this. And Donnie introduced me to fishing. And I'm like, well, it's outside, and I'm decent at it, so that's how that happened. So I've sort of stuck with both of them.
How you got stuck with Donnie.
And I got stuck with Donnie, too.
So for those that don't know, Donnie Hicks is the executive director in Gaston County for economic development. So a direct competitor of ours, but also probably one of my best friends in the business.
Love-hate relationship,
yes, absolutely. So every time he announces something, I have to call him and tell him how much I hate him, and then, just pick on him all the time. One thing that, unfortunately for you, you did have a procedure on your knee. So that probably hurt some of your hiking, but from just a personal thing for me that just I absolutely cannot get over is the fact that the metal in your knee most likely came from Union County, so you have ATI metal in your leg, and then that has to sit beside or lay beside Donnie every night so that he has some Union County in
And I rub
Gaston.
and go, this is Chris. This is Union County.
So, again, love the guy, but love to wear him out.
Absolutely.
And, of course, he's the best at getting back. He's probably the Robin Williams of economic development his brain moves so quick.
Oh, yes. He does not hold back either. So.
No. I have a couple props in my office that I think toilet paper that he put my face inside the toilet paper. So he.
And I think you have a hat, too.
Yes,
I think I still have that picture of that hat.
Oh, no. We will not talk about that. So, kind of getting back on track here, what have you seen? Because of your business development side, you're still engaged with all of those contractors and stuff. Obviously, COVID's a topic that I'd love to stop talking about. But how have you seen that affect? Obviously, ABC, we mentioned that a little bit earlier, but just your membership. What are they seeing right now?
I think. When I first started, I started the job on May the 4th, be with you. May 4th was my big day. So coming into this, our membership was around 250. And I think that as COVID has moved through the months, I think that people more than ever need to be engaged in organizations. They need people. We want to be around people. So since then, like I said, we're about a little bit above 300 now. So people have either rejoined our organization or we have new members looking and saying, hey, new leader, new energy, we want to be engaged to see what's going on. So I would say our membership is sort of, growing slowly. As we're starting to get out more socially. We've actually had our first Charlotte face-to-face social a couple weeks ago.
Excellent. Where'd you do that?
At the True Lion baseball stadium.
Yeah.
They're doing a program where 25 people do batting practice and 25 people go in the suite.
Yeah.
And you have food and drink, and then you switch up.
That's brilliant.
So it gives you a chance to get outside, and everything's open-aired.
Yeah.
We had mass social distancing all in place, but that was our first face-to-face for Charlotte.
Did you bat?
I did. I think I hit 2 balls. Those things are flying across there. Those softball skills are gone. So we did that.
Yeah.
And people, everybody who came, they were just so grateful to be out in front of people.
Right.
We did the same thing in Charleston. Actually, South Carolina's opened up a little bit more. We had a bowling event. We capped it at, I think it was like 15 people. It was a great success.
Yeah.
So, and we're doing golf tournaments, so people were trying to get out networking that way. We have done virtual fundraisers, obviously for the politicians that we are supporting and we're endorsing. So, I would say that people are participating virtually. I think we're all getting a little bit of zoomed out.
Right.
But we're still seeing very good participation virtually. And like I said, as we open up, people are getting out. They want to be face-to-face.
Right. I mean, if you're not engaging now, when it does open up, you're going to be at a loss in some fashion.
Oh, absolutely. I think that some people think that business development can be turned off and on like a faucet, and that is not true. It is a relationship.
Right.
And if you turn that faucet off, getting it turned back on is very difficult.
Right.
So,
because again, you're the face. The business development community really is the face of each company, and so that is very difficult particularly for our office. I've mentioned this to Pope and to some others too. That if it wasn't for them, it's really hard because I don't know people within the company and how they move around and do other things, or right when you get to know somebody, they get promoted to another profit center somewhere else. So the business developer is typically that consistent face of the company. So it's good that like ABC is helping those folks. So,
I think it's more important now than ever.
The worst time to ever cut your marketing is in a crisis.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. And I think that a lot of companies see that as overhead, but at the same time, again, going back to that's where the relationship is. And if that person leaves or disappears for 3 months, that relationship has been severed, in my opinion.
Yeah. It's it's a difficult thing. There's always decisions that have to be made for companies, but gosh, the business development side is really, at least for the economic development community, is a key conduit to all the the allies.
Absolutely. And I think as ABC, the more that we can get people in front of each other, the better their companies are going to be. I think from a mental standpoint, I think it's very mentally, I guess it's a relief that people are getting out. So we're going to do our best to keep that going.
Excellent. So what have you seen, are people talking about their activity picking up a little bit or slowing down? Are they seeing, what are you seeing or hearing from them, so anecdotally, how they're doing with some of the members or just other people that you know of?
I talk to engineers, I talk to architects, obviously general contractors on a daily basis, and I think that at first things took a little bit of a slowdown. I think that deals that were already moving forward are still moving forward. I think that those deals that had either just signed the ink or the ink had not been dried yet, those deals took a pause.
Yeah.
I don't think it was a hard stop. I think it was a good pause. What we're hearing now is those pauses have now started back up.
Yeah.
Now, the hospitality, unfortunately, student housing, things like that are still on, I think, a little bit of a stop. But everything else from industrial, from the industrial side, commercial side, those things are moving forward.
Yeah. How about office?
Office as well. I think that, the question is, what does the inside of an office look like?
Right.
So I think those are questions that are going to have to be answered as the upfits start to take place.
Yeah, no, it seems like retail's kind of just flat, if anything. And then, we're seeing a lot of residential kind of going on here just in Union County. So that's the one thing that we always we have a love-hate with that as well. That they consume good land, that we would like to put some other stuff and balance our tax base a little bit better.
Oh, yeah.
So we know the residential is doing fine. Some apartments not quite as much as it was, but yeah, the industrial and office seems to be a little bit more active right now, particularly distribution.
Oh, absolutely.
Things like that, as people I think are trying to get their distribution points closer to urban centers and sort of not these one big box to serve many states, but sort of make them smaller and bring them in tighter. So there should be a lot more activity.
Oh, yeah. And I think as many trips that Amazon has made to our house in the past 6 months, those distribution centers, whether it be an Amazon or whether it be a grocery store or whatever it is, I think you're going to see a lot more of those.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Amazon credit card smokes.
My account is on fire.
Right. Yeah. It's that, and then the pickup grocery.
Oh, yeah.
So my wife is she will never go into a grocery store again. It's just changed.
It's like it's the new normal.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I really appreciate you coming out here today and sitting down with us.
Absolutely.
Provide some good information, and hopefully people have learned some things. Hopefully they also will subscribe and stay in tune with us. But gosh, you've always been such a good friend of us, and look forward to working with you at ABC.
Well, I hope so. We're looking forward to continuing, at least I am, continuing my relationships with the economic developers in our area as well as developers. So even though I've changed my role, my contacts haven't changed.
Right,
so.
And you're a great representative of your association. So
great. Thank
everyone
you.
loves you and your personality, and so it's great to still have you interacting with us in this way. So, but I hope you have a great week, and thank you again so much for being here.
My pleasure, and I hope you have a wonderful trip.
All right, talk to you soon.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.